What is up, mental patients? My name is Tormental, and it's been a while since I've made a video about how awful the Town of Salem team is. So let's get that underway. It's been too long. We have to get back into the groove of talking about how these people are shit. Town of Salem, the Coven announcement. This is from the Town of Salem website. The Coven. This is a big update. There's going to be an update to the game. Does the Coven sound like anything to you? Does it sound at all like another thing that another game might have? Perhaps a cult? A cult that exists on Throne of Lies? Throne of Lies, the game that has a cult in it that you can transfer people to your cult and they get a different role based on their original role, like the physician, plague doctor guy. You know, does that sound at all familiar? Does the Coven sound at all like the cult? I'm questioning this because I can't figure it out, guys. I'm asking, just a lot because, I really need to know. Does this sound at all to you guys like Town of Salem is ripping off Throne of Lies now that there's an alternative to Town of Salem out? Does it sound at all like theft of Throne of Lies' ideas or what they did in their game? I mean, there are cults in other games, but it seems directly ripped from Throne of Lies. And yeah, I mean, Throne of Lies, this isn't like the first Mafia/werewolf game, of course. I mean, Town of Salem itself is based on the card games. And I know there are cults in other games. But let's just take a look at this update, and I feel like this is in response to Throne of Lies. I feel like they're ripping off Throne of Lies because Throne of Lies came out and is now an alternative to Town of Salem, and they're trying to kill it. Let's just take a look at this. That's just my opinion. Now that my opinion portion is out of the way, we're going to actually read the update. Alright, so the Coven. Big news, townies! Today we are announcing an expansion to Town of Salem. Town of Salem, the Coven. In this expansion, we are introducing 15 new roles. Okay, bitches! All you bitches out there who pay us money, we wanted to let you know, when we said that we couldn't add new roles to the game because it takes too long, we actually worked on 15 new roles. It's just that we were waiting for a time when we needed to put them up to kill another game. That's the only reason. We didn't care about you wanting roles. We decided to just make them, when it benefited us. So yeah, that's the message here. A new faction, exclusive queues, rotating game modes, and tons of improvements to the current game. Blah, blah, blah. The Coven is a new faction of witches that will enter the never-ending death fest that is Town of Salem. Now here's the thing. Blank Media Games and their dishonest developers will claim that this was always their plan. They're going to say, well, from the beginning we wanted to add a Coven. I guarantee you they're going to say that. This isn't a response to Throne of Lies. We were always going to add a Coven. Well, here's the truth for you guys. If you look back far enough, you'll see they weren't going to add a Coven. They were going to change the Mafia to the Coven. They were going to change Godfather, Forger. Well, Forger wasn't out yet. But, all the different roles from the Mafia were going to be changed to witch roles, and they were going to rename it the Coven. So if they tell you that this was always planned, that's a lie. Because all they were going to do was change the Mafia to the Coven, change the name of it, change the name of the roles, and add the witch to the Coven. So this is a completely new thing. Don't let them lie to you. The Coven will include 5 new witch roles, and the current witch has taken the role of Coven leader. One of the Coven's greatest strengths is the Necronomicon. The Necronomicon's ancient powers will amplify the abilities of any witch that possesses it. Check out the new Coven roles below. And here we go. Coven roles. Click here for more information. The one with the Blair Witch icon is Hexmaster. Master of the art of spell slinging, whose attacks won't take effect until all members of the town are hexed. Then a devastating blow will be dealt. So basically, like, I guess, arsonist? I don't know. Poisoner, with the incorrect icon of a porcupine frog. Poison frogs don't actually have spines on them. I don't know what the fuck. Poison is the trademark of this witch, a skilled herbalist with the knowledge to mix slow-killing poisons that give her plenty of time to flee the scene. Now, what is the Throne of Lies version? Is that called the herbalist? I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I mean, it's basically the Throne of Lies. Throne of Lies has the role that poisons people and so on and so forth. Potion in the cult, not just regularly, but in the cult, which the Coven is similar to. Potion Master, a powerful alchemist with the ability to heal, revive, and attack a player. Will take time to brew your potions again, so choose wisely. So they're adding a lot of complexity here. They're adding a lot of this, wait a few days, wait, you know, do this, do that. And look at this, you gotta select which potion you want. They're making this, this is exactly like, you know, to me, personally, this is a lot like the Throne of Lies interface, with the little pop-ups and, you know, things like that, because, you know, you gotta learn your skills, you gotta figure out what you're doing, etc. It seems like they've just added pop-ups, complexities, and a coven, which, you know, mimics Throne of Lies' pop-ups, complexities, and cult. Weird. Medusa, a snake-haired monster gifted with a gaze that turns people into stone, leaving no trace of who they were. So that's just basically the janitor. Okay. Necromancer, a failed retributionist scorned by the town. They use the powers to exact revenge. Whatever, that doesn't really tell us what they do. Some of these don't tell you what they do, so it's kind of like anybody's guess. Coven Leader, the witch we all know and love, has assembled a coven of her own to use and uses her voodoo powers to lead the coven to victory against all who would oppose them. But yeah, I swear I've seen that skull icon before. The skull icon here for Necromancer, I swear I've seen that before. I have to figure out where that was. Was it Throne of Lies? I don't know. I can't remember. Alright, town roles. Okay. Crusader, an overzealous protector whose ability to protect can easily backfire. Whatever that means. You know, a lot of these don't give much information, so you can't tell how much of a ripoff it is of a Throne of Lies role, or whatever. Tracker, a woodsman with a talent for tracking those who do not wish to be tracked. That, again, doesn't say anything. Trapper, a silent protector whose traps can do more than just kill. No information. Psychic, a gifted seer with the ability to find your darkest secrets. Okay, whatever. I mean, there's no real information about these roles, so I can't go on about them. Mafia Roles. Ambusher, a stealthy killer who lies in wait to attack when least expected. Hypnotist, a skilled hypnotist who can alter the perception of others. Okay. Neutral roles. Guardian Angel, overlooking your charge, protecting them against harm. That is the life of a guardian angel. Pirate, plundering booty. A pirate's life is full of danger when your wealth is stolen from others. And again, choose your attack. Choose your attack. Wins against sidestep, chainmail, backpedal. What the fuck are you guys doing? They're adding they're adding like the Throne of Lies level, you know, D&D role-playing bullshit, and that is going to pretty much destroy the game once and for all, I think. You know, once it starts getting so complex that all of the newbies and the people who, you know, flow in from like a PewDiePie or Markiplier video, once those people can't follow what's going on to the degree that they just, you know, you just are just totally lost, you're going to get into an epic Mafia type situation, and it's just going to be a big clusterfuck where new people don't know anything, new people aren't told anything really, you know. There's probably going to be information in the game, but nobody reads that shit. Plague Bearer / Pestilence, gotta have your Plague Doctor role. A god among us, the Plague Bearer, is spreading disease to regain his powers as Pestilence, Horseman of the Apocalypse. The fuck does that even mean? What the fuck does that even mean? Do you know what the fuck you're doing, guys? A Town of Salem role is spreading disease to regain his powers as Pestilence, Horseman of the Apocalypse. You've completely lost the line between lore and gameplay. What the fuck? Mystery role. This role will be a neutral killing role, so it will only show up if there's a neutral killing, random neutral, or any slot in the game. This role will be super rare, so keep your eyes out for the super cool role. No, fuck you. Who gives a shit? We're not going to tell you what the other role is, you'll just have to find it. Okay. Rotating game modes and exclusive queues. We will be implementing a set of rotating game modes that will change every so often. Whatever. Some of these things are things that I suggested and other people have suggested in the past, so whatever. VIP mode. We will be starting with our new VIP mode. This game mode has a list of town versus coven with few neutrals splashed in. The point of this mode is to protect or kill the VIP, depending on what side you're on. The VIP is randomly selected town member and gets revealed to all other town members as the VIP. This is stupid. This means you start the game knowing at least one good player if you are town. We think this mode will be a blast and create fun new atmosphere and different style of play. Or it will create a terrifying sense of doom that sends you into the dark abyss. One or the other. So here's what's going to happen with this. If all of the town members are told who the VIP is, all that has to happen is one role that is proven, like the loner or somebody who's proven to everybody in the game, can just say, "Whisper me the name of the VIP." Everybody who doesn't know who the VIP is evil and dies. Great thinking, guys. Lovers Game Mode. This mode will have a normal role list as well, and will link random players together in the game in bounds of love. If your lover dies, you die as well. I think Magnusword actually suggested this. That mode forces you to question. I'm sure a lot of other people have too. People always do that. They're like, you didn't suggest this. There was one in 2012 that said this. There was a thread. That's the first known one. It's like, yeah, but you get what I'm saying, though, is that the other person did suggest it at some point. Anyway, that mode forces you to question even confirmed teammates, as the lovers only live if they are the last people alive. Will you ride into the sunset, or will you die of heartbreak? Boring, stupid, loser game list, nobody will play. Rivals Game Mode. This mode works in a similar fashion to the Lovers mode, but reversed. The rivals must make sure their rival is dead, and they live to the end of the game to win. Let's examine this sentence. The rivals must make sure their rival is dead, and they lived to the end of the game to win. What a terrible sentence. It implies that you have to make sure your rival is dead and lived. But, whatever. This can be difficult as you want your rival to die, but you have to make sure that your team is already on the path to victory, or you could end up losing the game. Stupid. Nobody will play that. Nobody will play that. People will probably have some initial interest in these game modes in the very beginning to see how they work, but once you have a few games where you're trying to get everybody to hang your rival, and nobody will, because they're like, no, he's confirmed town. Once you have a few games like that, nobody's going to play these stupid role lists. It's fucking stupid. Okay, anyway. These rotating queues and all other Coven game modes will only be available if you're playing on Town of Salem the Coven. Well, what's the difference between Town of Salem and Town of Salem the Coven? I mean, they haven't gotten to it yet. What could the difference be, guys? Okay, write in the comments below before I continue. What do you think the difference is between Town of Salem and Town of Salem the Coven? Because you're going to be playing on one or the other. What do you think the difference is? Put it below. Put that down there. Put your prediction. Keyword system. We know the game can be confusing at times, especially when we have things like Night Immunity that doesn't protect against night immunity piercing attacks, or having a doctor that protects against every attack except arsonist attacks, etc. Yeah, sure is confusing. No, not really. I mean, you play a few games, you get it. This led us to create a keyword system that will completely change how role cards, abilities, attacks, and defenses are seen. We hope the system will clear up a ton of confusion in the game and allow players to pick up, learn, and master the game much faster. Public test realm is opening up. Nobody cares. Projected release. Here we go, guys. You ready for the money shot here? No pun intended. The expansion will be available for purchase in early June. They're charging you for new roles in the game. They added Forger, Werewolf, Vampire, and Vampire Hunter because they reached Kickstarter goals. And they're charging for the expansion that adds the cult roles and some new heroes and shit. I just called them heroes. That's from Camp Cadaver. New town and villains? No, Mafia. God, it's hard to go back to the phrasing once you've changed it all. But yeah. So they're charging you for the new roles. If you bought this game, don't you think you deserve new roles added to it? Don't you think you deserve updates? Do you have to pay them more? You have to pay them through Kickstarter, and you have to buy the game on Steam additionally to... Or, buy the expansion on Steam additionally in order to get new roles added to the game. And after all this time, where these liars said how difficult it was to add new roles, they go ahead and add 15 just because Throne of Lies came out. Just because Throne of Lies was released on Steam, they add 15 fucking roles to their game. When in all these years, they just couldn't add roles because it's so difficult, and oh, it's so hard, and we can't do it. They can't do it for free. They can't do it for people who already bought the game. That's their problem. They're hucksters, they're scammers, they're con artists. You know, they hold the game for ransom, basically. They're like, you want something new in the game? Pay us another $10. Back us on Kickstarter to the, you know, $500,000 level or something. Anyway. The release date may vary depending on how things go with our public testing. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be released way late, and people will be demanding answers, and you'll be, like, not answering, and blah, blah, blah. On release, it will only be available through Steam. But, yeah, you can't... That's the thing. The browser game is not getting updated with this. But we are working on a purchase that can be made through the browser with PayPal, and through the respective app stores once we get our new and improved mobile port released. This will be a $10 expansion, but anyone who already owns the Steam version of Town of Salem gets a $5 discount. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that nice of them to only charge you $5 to update your game? That they should have been doing for years? We are so excited to get all of this work out there for you all to experience and hope you enjoy everything we made. Go to hell. So yeah, this is the fucking thing. Thank you, backers. I like this link here. Thank you, backers. By the way, all of you people who backed on Kickstarter, we want you to know that we're not going to be adding anything really to our game until you pay us another $5 to $10. But thank you, backers. Thank you for backing a game that doesn't add anything unless people pay them more. That's what they're saying to everybody. But yeah. Garbage. Town of Salem is garbage. Town of Salem will continue to be garbage. The developers and their dev team are garbage. Their moderators are garbage. They're just a group of very, very nasty, very bad people, and you know, that's why I feel so comfortable calling them garbage and being nasty to them, because they just are awful, awful, awful people. And you know, this is the thing. This is the thing with Throne of Lies came out, and they're trying to kill it and make extra money at the same time. I would suggest just buying Throne of Lies, because I can't say for sure, but I think Throne of Lies probably won't do this shit to you. So why not just buy Throne of Lies instead of the expansion to this shitty game? Because what'll happen is, you'll buy this expansion, and if it does well, they'll hold the next group of roles ransom for another expansion. And you're just going to keep paying out the ass. So I would say buy Throne of Lies. Play Camp Cadaver, campcadaver.com. That's my game. You know, me and one other dude, a dude by the name of Mammon. Mammon and I made Camp Cadaver with like over 50 rolls or some shit, like some crazy shit like that. I don't know how many there actually are. And, you know, just a ton of rolls. Over 200 skins, 200 avatars for people to choose from. Some of them are going to be in a shop just to keep the game running. But, you know, a lot of them are just unlocked through achievements and shit. And that's 2 people. The 2 of us made a free game in the time it took Town of Salem to fucking just release a pay update of 15 rolls. And they're a multi-person team. Because, you know, here's the thing. The Town of Salem developers like to lie and say, you know, oh, we're only a couple people. They're not just a couple people. You know, it's an entire family working on the game through nepotism. And then, you know, Josh Britton, you know, the king liar of Salem. And, you know, they have people volunteering, like, you know, their their jury system, the anti-cheat system, the anti-whatever you want to call it system. That was made by a volunteer who volunteered and made it for them for free. So when they say, oh, we're just a couple people, they're full of shit. They don't produce anything, despite having multiple people working, except for this new expansion pack you have to pay for. Meanwhile, 2 guys making Camp Cadaver, literally just 2 guys, only one of them a programmer, and we've already got this expansion completely beat. You know, Town of Salem plus this expansion doesn't come close to touching what we've done. It doesn't even come close to touching Throne of Lies. And Throne of Lies doesn't have as many rolls, is what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy. Just when I think I'm done with these people, they pull another scam. And adding things you've taken from another game to your little Facebook game and charging, $5 to $10 for the update when you should have been updating your game the entire time, that is a scam to me. That is a con. That is a scheme. So yeah. Anyway, I'll shut up now because I've gone on for too long about this. Just stop playing Town of Salem if you can, if you want, and pick up Throne of Lies. That would be my suggestion. And Camp Cadaver, but I don't want to promote myself too much.